We fully admit it's not quite spring yet. In fact, it feels like winter. It's just barely arrived, but we're feeling it because today Kim Christenson with the blog Talk Wordy to Me is here to share her favorite picture books, perfect to read with your littles as we look forward to the spring sunshine that better be coming.
Yes, I hope we're willing it to come by sharing these.
Well, I loved your last book list, your winter list. We have read those over and over, so we're ready for some fresh new titles.
Yep.
Let's jump into some of your favorites. What's this one over here?
This might be my favorite. This one is Mr. Tiger Goes Wild, and it's all about a tiger who lives in a prim and proper village, but he just wants to let loose a little bit and not be so buttoned up. So he starts acting on that a little bit, that impulse, and he does something unthinkable. He goes down on all fours.
Oh,
I know.
How dare he?
So, and then his friends say, you know what, if you're going to be acting so wild, you're even taking off your waistcoat, you got to get out of here. So he goes to the wilderness and he is wild, but then he misses his friends and he comes back. They welcome him back with a shirt on a hanger and they say, you know what, you can wear this, you can still be yourself. And we're happy to have you back.
We accept you. Sweet. So all is well in the world of Mr. Tiger.
But it must be read in a British accent. So just so you know.
Well, the top hat kind of requires it, right?
Yes.
All right, next on your list, All the World.
All the World. Anyone who follows my reading recommendations has seen this a million times because it's one of my favorites of all time, not just for spring. The illustrations, as you can see, are just so beautiful and sweeping. You want to jump into the pages. And it's just a simple celebration of the beauty of the world and helping kids be grateful for that.
I love that appreciation of what they're surrounded with, that beauty that they live in, that art they live in every day.
Yeah.
Tell us about Home.
Home is gorgeous. So the author, Carson Ellis, is the illustrator as well, and she just does a beautiful job of showing different types of homes around the world and also for animals. And I love as well that she has prompts in there to get children thinking. There's a spread of a beautiful home and she says, who do you think lives in this home? And then she prompts children to talk about their own home as well.
Oh, sweet, an appreciation again for their surroundings. All right, why do we want to tap the magic tree?
We want to tap it because it at first is bare, but then the kids get to tap it and make leaves come on it, and then they get to follow it through the seasons. They get to tap the leaves onto it, and then the leaves change color and then fall off, and they get to do different things, interactive things to make the leaves change and to have blossoms appear. And you just follow this tree through the seasons.
This is a fun trend in children's literature. I remember a book from your winter list. I did buy them all.
Good.
We'd ski with the bunny and tilt the book, and the bunny would go downhill. So involving the kids in the illustrations and the pictures, that's a fun new experience, I think, at reading time.
Yeah, and it also helps with reluctant readers. If you have any of those, it helps them get more involved and feel like reading is a little more exciting. So you can start to introduce the other books that don't have that interaction, but it's a good gateway for that.
I can tell I'm with you, and I'm going to love this one just because of the illustrations.
Yes, you are. So this is, I believe, based on something that really happened in New York, where actually, it's a place. I went to it now that I think about it. It's called the High Line in New York City.
Yes, a very popular.
And there's gardens everywhere. And this story is of a little boy who lives in a barren city, a dark gray city, and no one really goes outside until he starts planting this garden, this forgotten garden, and he just makes the city lush, and then he inspires everyone else to plant things, even in tiny spaces.
Sweet.
And then it just brings life to the city.
And that speaks to the High Line, the history of that area in New York that stretches across that designated area. All right, and then it's spring, major list?
Yes, and then it's spring. I love this one because it's really understated. There's not a ton that's going on in the book.
It looks simple.
It's very simple. It's just this little boy and his cute little pet surrounding him, waiting for the garden to sprout. And so they're waiting and waiting and hoping and being patient, and then everything turns green. And so it's just a simple but beautiful book.
Those simple books poke at the imagination, right?
Yeah,
it gets them involved,
exactly.
their young minds involved, the kids' minds involved in a different way. All right, this book, An Egg is Quiet.
Okay, this is one of my kids' favorite books.
Yeah?
And mine too. It's fascinating. It shows real eggs and the different shapes and sizes and colors and textures that they can be. And there's some really interesting ones in there as well. So it's just a fun way to look at eggs.
The character of this next book is the title of the book, and I'm in love with this character already, Cloudette.
Cloudette is really fun. I have a friend who's a cloud enthusiast, and she told me about this one. And it is so fun for kids. It's this little cloud who learns that she can do big things like the other big clouds that are doing important things.
Cute.
Yeah, and it's very witty. I love when there's little funny, witty lines in there.
Yeah.
And this is one of those.
All right, Stuck.
Stuck. Oh, this is a classic. I love it.
Do you love these books or what? I can just feel it. Feel Feel
I'm
it
trying to not be
radiating from your
crazy, but I
heart.
really, really love them.
I love it.
So Stuck is about a little boy who gets his kite stuck in a tree.
Okay.
And so he throws his shoe up there to try and get it unstuck. His other shoe goes up, and then soon the kitchen sink goes up. And then a whale, you know, in the wrong place at the wrong time. He ends up getting thrown in there, and an orangutan. It's just a funny, silly book that makes you laugh.
All
My
right.
kids love it.
Rounding out your spring list for kids, Charlotte, the scientist, is squished.
So I saved one of the best for last. This book is so fun, and it's funny because it makes me feel emotional, but it's also very fun and lighthearted at the same time. So it is about a little bunny scientist who takes her work very seriously, but she has a huge family. I mean, she lives with bunnies. There's a ton of them.
Right.
So she can't get the peace and quiet she needs to concentrate on her important work. So she rockets off to space to find some space. And she loves it. She loves the freedom. I can relate to that, the peace and quiet. But then she quickly learns that robots don't make good friends, and she misses her home. So she goes home and finds a way to still follow her dreams and also be in the midst of her crazy family.
Sweet, sweet. You've done it again. Thank you so much. Where can we find this complete roundup?
I have it all linked up at talkingwordy.com.
All right. We will send people there from our website too. Thank you so much.
Great,
We
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it.